Welcome, Traveler. Rogue is quite fun to play in Season 9. With the power of Penetrating Shot, you're creating a bouncing maze of death and despair that explodes into billions and billions of cold damage. And that's all thanks to one item. Azurewrath is absolutely king this season, up to a 40% chance to deal 17,000 cold damage. Now that 17,000 cold damage can actually be doubled and tripled by stacking attack speed. Because if you have 100 attack speed, that bonus is 34,000. And if you have 200% attack speed, you get the drift. Should this actually happen, technically it's considered a bug that the damage goes up with attack speed. But it's in the game now for 4 seasons. Are you going to say, Pony, 40% lucky hit chance? That sounds not like a lot. I need a skill that has tons of lucky hit to make it happen. And for this, we do have Penetrating Shot, 137% lucky hit chance. And before you ask, over 100% lucky hit chance works? Yes, it does. With 137% on a 40% lucky hit chance, instead of having a 40% chance to hit, you have a 54.8% chance to hit. And if you now amplify this further by a helmet with a bonus 40%, we're more sitting at a 60% chance for 50,000 cold damage in this build. And that gets multiplied up into billions. Absolutely trashing Belial and sending him back to the lobby. This weapon drops from Duriel and Daryl and the Harbinger of Hatred. And as soon as you get it in Torment 1, boom, you're in Torment 3. Without a single hitch. I got in 2 hours and 46 minutes to level 60. Picked up my Azurewrath and just did a pit 35. In order to get your lucky hit to go crazy, you need the Fist of Fate, because it gives you plus 114% lucky hit chance. Without the Fist of Fate, we're sitting at 80%. That's still plenty good. But 80% with a 40% chance would only be 32% chance to actually hit. So instead, with the Fist of Fate, we get a huge bonus, we have chance to make vulnerable, and we get that critical strike chance. Now my attack speed is very low here. No problem, the Azurewrath itself has already a 16% attack speed. That's already 16% on your way to 100% to double the damage of the Azurewrath. Your third item to make this really go crazy would be the Eagle Horn Bow. Good thing is, the Eagle Horn Bow and the Fist of Fate both drop from the Beast of Ice. With the Eagle Horn Bow, you have your Penetrating Shot bounce off walls, dealing bonus damage. We don't care about the bonus damage, we care about the bouncing off. Because if a Penetrating Shot goes through you, triggers with the lucky hit the Azurewrath, then bounces off the wall and comes back. You create this room of death and doom where it goes and everything dies. And that's also your gameplay loop. We're dashing through the dungeon, jumping into our opponents, get as close as possible to do the maximum damage. And with our runes, we're actually pulling everyone together at any second while we put out our Shadow Clone, who also shoots out the Penetrating Shots and then just overwhelms everyone with cold explosions. We will begin with skills. Only 1 point into Penetrating Shot because the damage is coming from the Azurewrath, not from the shot itself. What the shot can do though is it can knock elites over and do 50% increased damage to them. We got 2 points into Siphoning Strikes as well, which gives us an 85% chance to heal for 2% of our maximum life, and that 85% with a 137% lucky hit chance, like we just heal as we hit. Throw your caltrops on your opponent for bonus damage and chilling. Then as we daze enemies, we get another 30% bonus critical strike damage, and we get our dash together with the methodical dash to be able to move very fast through the dungeon. Then Dark Shroud with a bonus critical strike chance to get our critical strike chance together with trick attacks easily up to 100%. And we do more damage against healthy and injured enemies, plus a lot of points into Malice for more damage against vulnerable and knockdown enemies. We cold imbue our Penetrating Shots and get the most out of Frigate's Finesse with another 30% bonus damage. And now the interesting part, this alchemical advantage, the 15% bonus attack speed, this does not go into your attack speed cap number 1. There's attack speed cap number 1 and 2. Both can reach 100%. Your attack speed cap number 1 is what you see here. So the 15% bonus from the passive, they don't get added on top of this. They're separate. So if this was 100%, I'm already at 115%. Simply by having alchemical advantage and dealing poison damage. How we deal poison damage is in the Arcana section. All the points to Shadow Clone, so he blasts away together with you, and he gives you 20% damage reduction. Then Juicy 6 points into Second Wind for a 90% maximum life barrier. For every 100 energy we spend, this is permanently up. with 10 points into innovation for a 100% chance to gain 8 energy. And that's a 100% chance. We always gain 8 energy with every single shot. And lastly, we play Close Quarter Combat. Damaging a close enemy with a marksman skill. Marksman skill in this case, penetrating shot, gives us 15% attack speed. And if we then use a cutthroat skill, like Shadow Clone, we get another 15% attack speed. Now the interesting part is that the cutthroat skill is attack speed cap number 1. So that 15% goes onto my 86.1 to bring me to 100%. But the second 15% goes in the attack speed cap number 2 from the marksman skill. Don't ask me why. It is what it is. So we're already sitting at 130% attack speed. Bam! And on top, while both bonuses are active, we do 90% increased damage. For this, we need damage versus close bonus through the Paragon and 1 temper. Now we talked about the Eaglehorn bow, where you want the greater affix on malice and preferable chance for penetrating shot to cast twice. You don't actually need it as a greater affix. As you can see, we always have it at 93.5% if we had a max roll. What you want is the attack speed as high as possible. This is 29%. Then on the Azurewrath, you need the greater affix on the cold damage and masterwork it at least twice. 3 times would be optimal. Twice is good enough. These two bring us already to 45% attack speed. With a Fist of Fate with a good amount of attack speed, we would have even more, but you can also just get the attack speed from your rings, 20%, and another attack speed from the other ring, so that's another 30% bonus, leading us with the Paragons easily to 86.1%. You don't even have to go crazy out of your way. Another bonus greater affix on either the Eaglehorn bow or the Azurewrath, or even a greater affix ring, would already have me at that 100% with the close quarter combats. As our boots from Gregoire, we play the Penitent Greaves as they give us 25% more damage to chilled enemies. The pans as T-Bolt's will, we're always unstoppable, so we get 20% bonus damage. And our helmet is the Cowl of the Nameless, where you gain another 40% increased lucky hit chance against crowd-controlled enemies, and also unstable elixirs and trick attacks should be the greater affixes. Since then I could drink potions for tons more damage, and our dazing of the enemy and stunning gives us even more critical strike multiplier, to then have the Azurewrath go completely off the rails. On our chest, we play the Umbrous Aspect to have our critical strikes give us Darkshroud Shadows, with the 3 ranks into second wind temper, lucky hit chance, maximum life armor, and dexterity. That's mandatory, so we actually get the armor cap. Then on the offhand, you play the Trick Shot Aspect. Whenever penetrating shot damages an enemy, 2 additional arrows split off to either side, and these arrows, they can also lucky hit to then trigger more Azurathis, and I do believe they could also bounce off. The blade needs your lucky hit chance to restore primary resource, as we really want to just blast away with our primary resource at any given point. That's also why we have the innervation tempers on our gear, so we can let loose without caring. Damage to close enemies temper is required, and then a lucky hit chance to deal shadow, poison, or cold damage. Cold damage in this case would be the best. You don't need poison because we can do this over our Arcana. But if we already have that high lucky hit chance, why wouldn't we also get it on our offhand? On the ring, you play the conceited aspect. Barrier is damage, ranks to innervation, attack speed, max life dexterity, and then damage per Darkshroud Shadow. The second ring should be exactly the same. Sadly, I couldn't get the dexterity here. And the aspect is going to be Cold Clip. You deal 22 or 40% increased damage to enemies who are chilled or frozen. Your basic skills are always cold imbued. As you see, there's a lot of conditional damage. It needs to be chilled or frozen, but we only do chill damage, cold damage, so we freeze all the time. 25% damage against chilled or frozen. All of this means if you have a boss staggered, you do tons of damage. Before you also do okay damage, but as he gets staggered, brrrm, he takes so much more. Which makes Belial that you saw in the intro be the tier 3 Belial. I blasted him away. A tier 4 Belial takes a bit longer, because Belial can't get staggered. Whereas all the other bosses in the pit, the Hellmaiden, all of these can get easily staggered. Even normal lair bosses can get staggered. Just Belial is a bit annoying. Astaroth, staggered, no problem. You want to stagger them to do insane damages. On the amulet, we have the worst one possible. You want the greater affix dexterity, and then ranks to alchemical advantage and also to malice. Alchemical advantage would even be better than malice because it gives you bonus attack speed on top of the attack speed that then also multiplies up the Azurewrath damage even further. That being said, if you get ranks to malice, that is then normal increased damage to vulnerable and increased damage to knockdown enemies on top. As the aspect, we play Vehement Brawler to give our ultimate even more ranks, but also us 45% damage multiplier. And as our jewels, we're rocking Scornful Light for 20% elemental damage, plus Seal of Control with a 45% crowd control duration and lucky hit chance. Lastly, the item from below with a 6 and 6 stats. For this, we'll need 2 Arcana of the School of Control. Interestingly enough, T-Bolt's Will, Call of the Nameless, and Azurewrath all drop from Endariel, Duriel, and the Harbinger of Hatred. Whereas again, the Eagle Horn and the Fist of Fate go Beast of Ice, and that is Grimoire. You pretty much get everything from one boss, and it can also be farmed with other characters to get all the items for Rogue already ready, apart from Call of the Nameless. Now as our specialization, we play Preparation, and since we blast away our energy, we always have our cooldowns reset, and whenever we use our ultimate, our Cold Imbuement comes off cooldown, Shadow Stab, Caltrops, our dash comes off cooldown, so we consistently have every 10 seconds at least, if not more. The Shadow Clone, he's permanently up, I'm permanently damage reduced, I permanently have my cooldowns, whap, 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 whap. Very useful. And in order to use up all that resource, we're obviously spamming the Penetrating Shot, but we're also running Lucky Hit up to 100% chance against non-healthy enemies. The Ahu Glyph, so this gives us a lot of offering because of all the shots bouncing off. It's a 100% lucky hit, and I have over 100% lucky hit. This then leads into Quacks that I get more damage for a second, and as everything then bounces off, it goes bram, bram, bram. And that thing triggers like crazy. And in order to pull everyone together, we're playing Neo together with Cry. 2 seconds health damage evasion, 200 offering, in total 400 offering for a big vortex that pulls everyone together, that we then have them all together to take the damage from the bouncing penetrating shots. As a merc, you would like to have Rahir for that bonus elemental resistance and the bonus damage with a ground slam. With the resistance, we're somewhat fully resistanced out, trying to do my best with the Paragon board. It helps immensely. And then Variana is another 10% attack speed. That being said, that 10% attack speed is a permanent bonus and goes into attack speed cap number 2. So if you're 100%ed out here already, like I am, the Bloodthirst is actually useless and you could pick something else, like a Cleave, for example, if you want that. In the Paragon board, we would like to have 10% increased damage to elites with another 5% on the Headhunter glyph. This leads into the Danse Macabre board, where casting Mobility or Subterfuge skill increases your damage by 30% for 10 seconds. We always have our cooldowns low, so we can make sure to actually cast that. On the Fluidity glyph, which boosts the magic nodes around here to the damage to healthy. And when you cast an Agility skill, you deal 10% increased damage and gain 15% energy regeneration to have us always energied fully up. Don't forget to take the damage to close on this side, because that will make your 90% bonus also be 90% with a temper. Next board is the Eldritch Bounty for 30% increased poison, shadow, and cold damage. We do poison, shadow, and cold damage. All three, to be honest. And then we get the Control Glyph for more damage against slowed or chilled enemies, and then increased stunned or frozen enemies as well. Dankeschön. Upwards and onwards to the hitting a vulnerable enemy gives us more damage up to 25% multiplier. And the Kenny Glyph that we also intelligence out here, and I would intelligence out even further if I had more points. For non-physical damage increases all the non-physical damage an enemy takes by 15%. We do pretty much only non-physical damage and non-physical damage. Lastly, we're heading over to the No Witnesses, where my ultimate skill gives us another 40% bonus damage. Taking these two and these two together with the Devious Glyph is already enough to max this one out. Done. As we get here, the bonus attack speed, and that bonus attack speed also goes into attack speed cap number 1. Now for our Arcana, we play the Disintegrate. We always stand to the opponent, so we just cast it on them. And our Disintegrate does poison damage, and as we deal poison damage, we get the Alchemical Admixture running. We also daze our enemies with the Beam to stack our damage on the trick attacks. Then we get the Frigid Heart. This is control. This is control. Frigid Heart has my Disintegrate Beam freeze all affected enemies. Okay, that's really good. And then with a Bloody Charm, we execute enemies early. That just works way too good. Now as a power conclusion on the build, Pit 75 is easily possible. Your power curve again through all the tiers is amazing. That being said, you're super strong. You start off super strong, fastest leveling everything into Torment 4. You're comfortable in Torment 4, but you also are not getting much further. So you can speed farm the Infernal Hordes. You can absolutely destroy Tier 3 Belial, Undercity, Hell Tides, the actual farming content that matters. And in the pit, you can have tons of fun. But you won't be good for deep diving the pit. There we have the other classes for. This is for the rogue enjoyers, for the people that love rogue, that want to beat the seasonal journey, and that would just want to absolutely max out Azurewrath. What do you think? You're going to give this a try? And you're going to also check out the loot secrets I got for you? Enjoy. Have a fantastic good day.